Good day. Let me see if I can recall your name because everybody knows you're Shaggy, right? So your name is Orville something Burrell.
Richard. Richard.
Orville Richard Burrell.
Richard was actually given to me by my grandmother, who raised me.
Okay.
She's dead now.
Okay.
Rest her soul.
This is Leo Gilling coming to you from leogilling.com, Jamaicans.com, and it's this is going to be streamed on Jamaicans.com, and I want everyone to know we have 124,000 people possibly watching this. All right, and so I have today with me Orville Richard Burrell, aka Shaggy. And I want before we go into anything, because I was reading about Shaggy this morning, but I couldn't get the full understanding of how the name Shaggy came by.
Well, there are many floating stories that are going around.
Yes.
But really, I got it from being I used to go to Doyle Park Primary School.
Right.
And I was this really skinny guy with some buckle knee and wool over here.
Buckle knee?
Yeah.
What that mean?
Simply mean when you're mad and you need them.
Okay.
I'm looking very awkward and my hair would just fly around the place, so they call me Shaggy, Shaggy Dog, Shaggy Dog, Shaggy Dog.
Oh.
But then after I did Old Carolina, I went to England.
Yes.
And I realized that Shag in England means something else.
Yes, it does.
Right, and then I say, Shaggy, it's a bombastic Old Carolina. Yeah, well, it worked.
It worked.
So it just kind of fall into place at that, which is a name, it come from a name that I hated so much to a name that actually does work perfect.
Okay. You know, do you realize that there's some things that I read that says you're actually born in New York, but for most part it says you're born in Jamaica. So which is it?
I'm born and raised in Kingston, Jamaica. I was born in Raytown, Charlotte Street.
Okay. I've
lived in pretty much a tenement yard straight up until when I migrated to the US by my mother. My mother filed for me afterwards.
At what age?
Probably that was about 16, I would think.
Okay. You know, many people don't understand the term tenement yard. We go up Kingston, people don't understand that.
Well, yeah, multiple people live in one yard and they use a common facility like bathrooms and showers are a common facility where you have little houses in the one yard.
That's right. Okay.
So I lived in Montview, I lived in, like I said, Charlotte Street, we used to live down the jungle, we used to live Washington Garden, we used to live New Haven, the foot at the Colorado Bed, right? So we used to live at Doyle Park, right behind Magian gas station, Patrick City.
So you've been there?
I was a single parent family, so my mother kept moving. She worked at the cleaner company for years, you know. Okay. So I grew most of my time running around the halls at the cleaner company.
Yes.
And going from yard to yard. The last place I lived was Portmore. My mom finally bought a home in Waterford, right in front of Caymanas Park, right? Like Caymanas Drive.
Oh, Caymanas, okay.
Yeah. And then,
it's so interesting because you know what? Sometimes they say good poetry, good lyrics come from where you grew up, how you grew up, your background, and the rough ideas is the better lyrics. Is that true?
You know, I think it's either something you're born with or you don't. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I had a knack for the arts.
Yes.
I wasn't very good at numbers or an academically strong student.
Right.
But the artistic side of things worked very well for me. Like I drew and I painted. I got a scholarship for Pratt Institute in New York, which I didn't go. I ended up going in the military instead. But the art side was always good. I had a knack for basically rhyming lyrics. I love the music. I started as a selector on a song. So I used to use all my money and buy little 45s over at Whitty store, record store in Utica.
Yes.
And then Superpower over there on Church Avenue and Jalife and all of these record shops.
Yes.
And I select song and I played it. And then I wanted to cut dub plates, but I couldn't afford the dub with the artist then. So I just started making up my own dub plates then. That's how I got into DJ business. And then I realized that in rhyming and making up lyrics, I got attention. So I was in the lunchroom spitting lyrics and then meeting the bench and I got girls. I realize if I do a record, not only do I get girls, but I get to the club for free, I drink for free, and I leave with artist girls.
That's great, that's great.
So at that point, you know, it was way more appealing than painting or drawing or doing pastels or whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you had a little stint in the Persian Gulf War.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, I mean, after a while, you've been in Brooklyn, you start running around with, you know, the crowd.
Yes.
And at that time, you know, the hustle was the thing that lured kids. You know, there was a drug hustle that was going on. And you get caught up in all of that, trying. Everybody want nice things, and especially at a young age, you want the nice shoes and nice. So you get caught up in that whole drug hustle.
Yes.
But I'm also a smart enough person that if I say a man walk and step in a hole and broken foot, common sense if you step over the hole.
Absolutely.
So after some of my friends them start, you know, get caught up and lock up, I just decide, say, yo, I have to leave this environment. I walked down to Flatbush Junction and I stepped into the recruiting office and I walked in a wall and I see Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines. I said, this uniform, what I would take this? And I called it. And I did a test and was out of there. And
so you were in the Army?
No, I was in the Marines.
In the Marines,
in the Marines,
okay.
Right. And then I realized that for the amount of years that I was there, some people do, you know, 20 years ago say a war, I do 4 years and I'm in the middle of a war.
So we have a Jamaican in the middle of a war. Tell us about that. Because I know you were deployed.
Yeah, I was deployed. I was in Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
But the thing for me around that time, I gained a lot of knowledge.
Right.
The discipline to do what I'm doing now comes from the military. For me to wake up at 5 a.m. and I'll go straight to the middle of the night and start all over again, interview, television, going from continent to continent and do work comes from the drive that I got from being in the military. Balancing my checkbook, you cannot get promoted unless you're balancing your checkbooks, and it's a little things like that I learned. I learned to iron my clothes properly. I learned to, you know, I'm a neat freak to this day. If you go into my house, I don't like clutter.
Wow.
You know, and it's nice. Just that kind of, the all does come from just being militarized.
Okay.
You know, for the lack of a better word at this point, just in that whole way. So the military was definitely, for those 4 years is where I did my growing up, and it was instilled in you. Everything you have to just, you know, you have somebody pretty much raising you.
That's very nice to hear. That's very nice to hear. And when I was in California in about 1993, I heard about this gentleman who came out of the military and he make it big with a song named Oh Carolina, right? Just out of the Persian Gulf, right?
Yeah, I came out. It was 92. Because the Persian Gulf was 91. So 92 is where I was discharged. And I came out doing a song called Big Up, and I had a song called Mampi, which was local songs.
Right.
And then we released Oh Carolina as a local song, but then it just kind of took off. I was actually on tour with Maxi Priest at the time. Maxi Priest hired me to do all of his background and DJ spots for all these songs.
Right.
So I ended up getting a taste of the world and touring because I was in a little box following the local dancehall scene. You know, where Shabba is, or where all Little Twitch, any of these guys, Super Cat. But Maxi Priest brought me to places like Brazil, and we went to Sao Paulo, and we played on a festival called Rock in Rio. Went to Korea and did Rock in Rio with Nirvana and Simply Red and Aerosmith, and you know, he was the only dancer, he was the only reggae. Maxi Priest. And I remember saying to myself that Maxi Priest, I never hear Maxi Priest songs played in dancehall that much. But yet still there are all these people, I'm thinking of hundreds of thousands of people singing every line to his songs. And I was like, so it was very confusing to me. I was like, I was chasing one thing, but there was a bigger thing out here that I never realized. So he helped me to recognize that and showed me how to do interviews. And I'm speaking clear English, you know what I mean? I was like, yeah, well, you want to see, you know, I was like, start laughing. English.
I know.
Yeah, his argument was, don't make sense, you're doing an international interview to reach the masses, but you're speaking in a dialect but they can't understand. You know, and he says, and then I started arguing with him, I say, yeah, but you know, patois, where we grew up with, and he says, yeah, but you were taught the Queen's English.
I like that.
You know, this kind of shows through certain groups that made sense.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't make you less Jamaican if you speak clear enough so somebody can talk. And in my head, it was like, yo, yeah, sell me out. But that's just the young man in me, and coming up, and so Maxi was very instrumental in bringing me around the world, for $500 a week, as pay, but at the same time showing me everything, and I'm very grateful for that. Because
are you still friends?
Absolutely. Max and I are very. I'm doing we're in production of his next album together. I'm helping to produce and write on some of it, and his last couple of songs, whatever your eyes could see with me and with him and Don Carlo in production and a drop leaf, was poured by me. We did That Girl together. So Max and I are very, very close.
So what was Christmas like to you then, before you left Jamaica at 16, 15, 16, and Christmas now? What is it?
I'm grown now. Now I'm having a Christmas that I never used to have as a kid. I'm from a poor family, and we never have Christmas tree in my house. My family couldn't afford all of that. My grandmother was like a poor woman living in a little place. She can't afford all of that. If I get a present, I'm lucky. If I get a cake, I'm lucky. I never had my first birthday party was when I already had, I think Hot Shots. My wife threw a big birthday party for me in Miami after the Rolling Stone concert. And that was my first real birthday party. I never funny enough, I had a birthday party for my uncle Trevor. He's 72 now. And I had it for him when he was 70. And that was his first birthday party at 7 years old. And he was in tears. He was like,
it's never happened to you.
Yeah, so there's certain things that just don't come to you in the ghetto, when you're raised. So now I'm giving my children, they have a massive tree, there's present, there's a Christmas morning present opening, which I never see them thing there, there's Christmas dinner, which is massive. Stuff like that, So it's a different Christmas now compared to where we grew up.
So you know how impactful this is now to the youth who are aspirants into the music business or the industry, or even in any kind of profession or career, that you are coming from an area that is quite depressed, and you can transform yourself from talking where nobody can understand, only certain people can understand you, to being able to speak to the entire world. That must be a fulfilling feeling, because you're setting the example, you're setting the model for them to grow with.
You can only try and be, you can only really try and be a role model. Yes. But none of us are perfect.
Yes.
I've had my bad run-ins. I've had, people look at me and the things that I'm doing and think that I see it for some reason. I'm far from it. Far from it. I have done everything that is bad under the sun. I'm saying, from womanizing to messing with drugs to everything. I've done it. I'm saying, I've gone to the military. But it's not about what you have done in the past, it's how you can shape the future.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And I look at everything that I've lost and all the bad things I do. I don't take any L. When I'm saying you take the L is not lose or lost. The L is learn.
That's a nice
so I take all my L's as lessons and build upon them to move out. And I always say, I'm from the ghetto, but I don't glorify the ghetto. Ghetto means ghetto.
Yes.
Josie will tell me that years ago from England, and say, ghetto means get out.
Yes.
Try your best to elevate yourself and get out. Always remember where you're from. Always try to inspire.
Yes.
Always try to tell stories of my journey. And your journey might be a different journey.
Yes.
But hearing my journey can probably help your journey.
Absolutely.
So I try to have these conversations. And there's a lot in music that I've experienced.
Yes. That's good. Shaggy, you have entered into an arena that many people have in philanthropy, and that's probably inside of you. That just comes out normally and naturally. But you're now into an area where you're bigger than life. Shaggy is bigger than life throughout the world, and you could just go ahead and just take care of your family and have a good life but you have chosen a path to help others. Tell us about what it is that you're doing today that has impacted the people who don't have it. Tell us.
But for me, you say the word philanthropy, you know, it's almost as if it's a title or you're aiming.
Thank you very much for that.
And that is not what my thing is. I never knew about philanthropy until, you know, I set up a foundation, and then I never knew I was supposed to set up a foundation. I started helping Bustamante out of pocket. For 9 years I did it out of pocket. Just buy equipment, buy whatever needs, and say they need this, alright, I can run a thing or something, I can run a thing or something. You know, the problem just became so big that I needed more help, you know, and the only way to get help was to get the corporate entity involved. And the only way to do the corporate entity, I was told by my friend William Mafood, who his family has done food for the poor, that I have to set up a foundation. That's the only way you can get the corporate entity involved. And I didn't even know to set up a foundation. It's William really guided me through Food for the Poor, him and Andrew. And we set up this foundation called Shaggy Make a Difference Foundation. And now we start collect donations to it and get the corporate sector involved to fix a problem that is, you know, a recurring problem.
A recurring problem.
You know, I always say fixing Bustamante is like filling a bucket with oil. You know,
explain.
It's not full.
Okay, that's it.
You know
Gotcha.
That's constant. That's constant
pouring in, and it's just dripping out, right?
And it will be dripping out. It's just how fast it drips.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, you know, people always say to me like, you know, why Bustamante and only Bustamante? Why don't I don't do the KPH or why don't? And I think it makes better sense to dig one hole 50 feet deep than dig 50 hole 1 foot deep. You know,
that's very nice.
If you understand what I mean by that, because it's called make a difference. If you're not making a difference by doing something, listen. If I just want talking points, I can just go in at these dinner meetings and say, well, you know, yes, I donated some computers over there at a piece of equipment over there at Bustamante, and I donated another piece over there at UH and one at KPH, and yes, you know, I'm helping the Boys Town down here, and I'm this and I'm that, but I'm not here for talking points, and I'm not here for you to give me accolades either.
Right.
I'm here to fix a problem.
Absolutely.
And if the problem can't fix, I fail. You understand what I'm saying?
Like that.
So at the end of the day, me look upon it and say, and why Bustamante? That's just where God lead me. I went to my friend Tony Kelly, his son gets sick. I went there to visit the son, me and Dave Kelly, and I meet some nurses and doctors, and them tell me them story and what they've been doing, and I was moved.
Yes.
And I said, whenever and that was a couple years before. I think I was bombastic time around that time. And then I ended up catching Hot Shot with some Brazilian records, and I had a ton of money, and I just decided, okay, I'm just gonna walk in and just start, you know, take care of it and give it to it.
That's good.
And that is it.
Oh my gosh, that's nice. That's very, very, very nice. So as part of all of this, you started the foundation, but now you have a concert going. Tell us about the concert.
Well, the concert is in aid of course, in aid of Bustamante Hospital.
Right, Bustamante.
Right, and it is definitely a concert that is there to get equipment for it, which is our job. We operate on a needs list. They basically give us a needs list, a list of things that is needed for the hospital.
Right.
All right, and we try to fulfill that need. So, and we've been doing it for a while. So, the last, I think about 2 concerts back to back, we took the funds from that to build a cardiac unit, because heart problems are a big part of big Jamaican problem with little babies.
Yes.
And Cheda was coming down here bringing doctors, flying them in to do heart surgeries for free, which we help facilitate. And I've done fundraising for Cheda Home on many occasions, so I know all the players very well. So when they said they wanted to do a cardiac unit, a cardiac ward, to basically do heart surgeries for free in Jamaica with local doctors, we were all for it. Okay. So we partnered with Digicel, who donated the building, and we partnered with Gift of Life, and you know, all of these different entities, you know, to come on board and make this thing happen. So our job was to furnish it, so we put the equipment into it.
Okay.
Then the last concert now we donated was mainly for the general hospital itself to get equipment. We donated 350 pieces in September. We have another 150 pieces to donate in about February, March.
Okay.
You know, and this year we're just focusing with the concert on the ICU. Now there's only 5 beds in the ICU to serve all of Jamaica.
All of Jamaica, is that what it is?
Yes, only 5 beds
Okay.
to serve Jamaica and English-speaking Caribbean.
Do we have the space to put the beds?
Well, right now for the 5 beds we're out of space. Right? Each one of these beds costs at least $100,000 US because all these equipment that's around these beds to make the bed functional. Right? It's very costly. So we now have to expand the building itself and probably put hopefully another 5 beds.
Right.
You know, to at least ease
Yes.
you know the flow.
Yes, yes.
And so it's all about the ICU this year, and you know, so I had to go back and beg again, and go to some of my international friends and Fetty Wap, people like Sting from the Police, people like you know, Wycliffe.
Yes.
I literally just beg them to say, yo, come on board for me. I know it's hard to ask these guys to come for absolutely free.
Yes,
But these guys understand the cause, and it's good that they live good with people.
right. It makes sense.
So, you know, when I have this conversation, it's a hard conversation to have, but at least I get through to them, you know. And of course, at Sting and I are doing a project together, and, you know, I was bold enough to ask him, and he was kind enough to say, absolutely, let's do this. I think what you're doing is amazing, you know, let's make this happen.
How long have you been at Bustamante Hospital?
Probably I've brushed probably about 15 years right now.
15 years?
Yeah.
You are making a difference, my brother.
Yeah.
This is very, very nice. And if anyone,
Well, I could have just do the first one and said that.
that's what I'm saying. And you still could have, you still have a bragging point too, you know.
Yeah.
But you still keep going. What are we looking for this concert? What date is the concert? Price, ticket prices, and all that good stuff.
Well, the date is the 6th of January. It's at the lawns of Jamaica House. We start 8 p.m. prompt, and not about late starting of shows. The ticket prices are, my children prices are silver 3,500, and the gold passes for kids are 6,500. All right. The golden early bird passes for regular people now, for grown-ups, is 12,000 and 14,000 for the regular prices. The silver passes now, early bird for grown-ups is 6,000, right, and the regular is 7,000. Platinum is $30,000, and you can't get an early bird in Ceylon. Now the difference between the platinum compared to the gold, the platinum is you pretty much get served. It's all inclusive, drinks and food, but they come and serve you. Gold is also all inclusive, but you have to go get up and get your food. a slight inconvenience.
Slight inconvenience.
And then silver is you get to buy your food.
Okay.
Right? But all drinks is inclusive of the whole thing.
Oh, it's pretty good. That's really nice.
It is really nice.
And how many?
It's better, you get that better than what you get for regular concerts about the place here.
Absolutely.
You know?
And how many people are you expecting?
The last one, the one before that, I think we had Tessa was our biggest year. We had about 12,000 people. So it's whatever we can cram in the place at this point. You know, my thing is to make money. If I'm not making money, it don't make no sense.
Right.
You know, these tickets can be you can obtain ticket them at Ligony, Drug and Garden, Cannonball, Manor Park and Barbican, Triple Century, Fromage Bistro, Music Mart, Fontana, Kingston, Mobile and Ocherias, Uncorked, Sovereign North, General Foods in Ocherias, Trucks and Records in Marketplace, you know, and make sure say you buy for everybody, your mother, your sister, your auntie, you know, and just come out and have a time. And just remember that one ticket equal one life. So I'm not asking you for a ticket price. These are not ticket prices. These are a donation. I'm just basically facilitating some entertainment so we can feel good about it.
What's your goal to get to Bustamante this year?
I hope I can make $1 million US.
$1 million. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And are you seeking to from people from the diaspora to give
generously
equipment?
Well, equipment is, you don't want them to give equipment that they have, right? That's why you operate on a needs list. You know, a man can come down and say, I bring a blood worm and I'm three of them already.
Okay.
You know, yeah. So it don't make sense you get up on it, and plus you don't know what you're buying.
Okay.
You know, these equipment are very sophisticated equipment, so you don't know what you're buying. You know, what we do, we source those equipment ourselves, we buy them ourselves, we bring them through Food for the Poor, and we fulfill the needs.
So you want the money?
Well, the money is what we want, yes. We want the money to buy it, to buy the equipment.
So tell us,
because some of them we get deals now. When I can walk into a manufacturer and get a deal on a particular equipment, you as the regular person that might do that. I'm buying bulk, you know, and I can buy a used equipment, depending on the type of equipment it is, a used equipment, but then I buy the warranty on it. You know what I mean? So there are little tricks to the trade.
Absolutely.
In making this happen.
You have a website that people can donate to?
You can donate to Food for the Poor.
Food for the Poor.
You know, /Shaggy. You know. And you can also find out any information on ShaggyMakeADifference.org, ShaggyMakeADifferenceFoundation.org. You know, and if you want their shirts, you can go to Raytone Apparel, RaytoneApparel.com, which is my apparel company. And we have a shirt called the Shaggy and Friends shirt, which you can buy that shirt, all proceeds to that go to our customer. And if you're buying water, I see you'll have the competition, but
that's the competition.
Yeah. If you buy water, buy the water with my face on it, because proceeds from that also goes to Boston.
Well, I'm glad you tell me, because I just go and pick up a bottle of water.
Yeah,
so
well, you have to be on point.
All right, sir.
And it says it. When anyone will see my face on it, that's the one you buy.
Shaggy, all right. You mentioned Chain of Hope, and I want to get into, because I want persons to know also that Shaggy, it's not just about Jamaica, but he does work across the world. So tell us about Chain of Hope and what you do with Chain of Hope.
The Chain of Hope does cardiac surgeries on little babies in third world countries for free. And they've been operating for years now. And Dr. Yakub, who heads it, is Sir Yakub. He's been knighted by the Queen, and is a brilliant doctor. And what I do is fundraising. They might call me to do different fundraisers for their annual gala. And I'll do entertainment for them. The same thing I do for Food for the Poor. Food for the Poor is the 6th largest charity in the United States and the #1 international charity in the United States, headed by Jamaica. You know, it was founded by the Mahfoud family, and run by them still. Big up Robin Mahfoud, who still runs it. And you know, they build houses.
Yes, I know that.
And we're building homes in Haiti. You know, right after the Haiti earthquake, we went and did Save a Life, which was the video. I wrote that song and did a video with Marshall Montana, a whole ton of artists. And we raised somewhere in the neighborhood about $6 million US, because it was matched by Digicel at the time. And they really went behind it and campaigned and made it work for us.
Back in 2013, I had the pleasure of going to that finals with Tessanchin down in California and capturing the whole event. And I know that you were behind it. I want to thank you for all the work. I work with Marlon Hill over in, and he helped us to design all kind of plans going. You know, it was really good. So thank you for that also, for putting Tessanchin in front and making Jamaica proud.
She's an incredible talent.
Yes.
Incredible talent. I mean, we wish we could have gone, you know, the full way with it. You know, because the competition is one, but then afterwards was another situation. But she had other ideas and other directions that she wanted to go. Okay. And you know, you have to let the artist be the artist.
Absolutely. That's where she created her own. Right? Shaggy, thank you very much, man. Is there anything else that you want to share with us?
Listen, you know, this thing is not done for us hype.
Yes, you know? I know that.
We really have a problem. I really need to fix it. I want, especially the diaspora, to get on board. I've been disappointed with the diaspora several times during this concert series. There are more than at least over 4 million Jamaicans in the United States alone. There's more people than there are Jamaica. And I think we can get a lot more support.
Well, I saw Marlon send out an email a couple of days ago and asked us to come on the call. That will help. Marlon is a pretty good guy and is very well respected, so
absolutely,
you know, that will help.
So we just need them to get involved. Yes. I mean, I get it, out of sight, out of mind, and some people don't react until it's in their backyard. Let's not wait for it to reach in your backyard. I'm just saying the diaspora is a huge diaspora. They can get involved. Get on all the streaming side, get involved, go to Food for the Poor, donate, and try and make a difference. You know, I feel really bad when, you know, I'm partnered with iHeartMedia and they're, you know, they spend X amount of airtime to reach these Caribbean diasporas, and you come out and make $7,000.
Yeah, not worth it, right?
You know, and I couldn't get them on board again because it was so low this time. You know what I mean? So, I was really expecting more because the diaspora is a huge diaspora. Yeah, and I criticized them a lot, and them burned me too. They burned me because we criticized them, and I don't think it's because they don't want to give. I think it's because there's a certain amount of organization that needs to be in place.
Right, yes.
And
trust.
And trust
yes.
that is not there. And I'm saying if that's the case, just go straight to Food for the Poor. I don't care if you go straight to the hospital. You don't even have to go through Shaggy and friends. Just donate straight to Bustamante Hospital. Go up on them site and do it. Yeah, but there's tons of Jamaicans around the world. I'm saying 4 million in the United States. There's probably the same in England.
The numbers look like 3.1 million across the globe. But, you know, but it's still a big number, and we need to find a way how to unleash that power that we have.
Yeah, man,
So we're asking you guys, go to Food for the Poor and slash Shaggy and give to this cause. It's really, I didn't realize how deep Shaggy was into Bustamante Hospital until very recently, and it's probably because of the lack of information that's coming out into the diaspora.
Well, people think it's just this thing has become even more important than my music at times.
Yes.
Because when you're sitting in a surgery,
and
you're seeing a little baby split open, and you're seeing a heart move like this, and you're looking at the saw that cut them, and know that you bought that.
Yes.
And that is what it's doing. And you see the children get stable up, and by the next evening, the child is running up and down.
Oh my God!
I mean, it does something to your psyche. So there's no material things that can move me. You know, I don't want more car. I don't want more house. I don't want none of that shit.
Yes.
I don't want any of that.
Yes.
What it's about is doing something that makes a difference.
I love your passion.
And if you don't change that, I can't call America my own. I fought for the United States government. I've been in the military. I've paid huge amount of taxes. I've lived there for years, but I cannot call it. I'm still a black man in America, and it still doesn't sit well with me. But in Jamaica, they say out of many one people, whether you're black, whether you're white, whether you're Indian, whether you're Chinese. From your boy at school, look a man when me used to beg some of him sweetie from was a Chinese man. The next man was a little brown skin brother. Next man was a coolie man. See, and we were raised like that. Right, we were raised like that in Jamaica today. Out of many one, there is classism.
Yes.
I will not say that there's not classism in Jamaica. You know what I mean? And there is a level of racism, but not to the standard of what you're seeing, especially coming out as of recently. And so I have to build where we come from. And Jamaica, all three of my children were born here. My three daughters were born here, right at Andrews Hospital, and they live here. I live here, and this is my country. So I have to do what I do.
Again, thank you very much, my friend.
Respect, brother.
And then we'll talk again. I'm sure we'll talk off air.
Yep.
And I appreciate this time.
All right. Listen.
All right.